Hello everyone, welcome to our after show for Michiko and Hatchin. The review that took kind of a while. We said we were going to do it a while back, then we did Tokyo Godfathers and Keijo.
Yep.
Here it is, you finally watched it. This ain't going anywhere, so we're cool with it.
Yeah, it's a show that has been on my plan to watch list for a while now. One of the main reasons was just because it has like that watch now influence, as you can definitely easily see it by watching the show.
Yeah,
I definitely he's only credited for being the music producer, but I'm pretty sure the director was like, hey man.
Well, I mean, it's made by Manglobe, so maybe they just looked at Champloo and been like, let's just make it a little bit like that. And maybe one of their buddies just called it Watanabe and was like, hey, you want to just come tell if this is good or not? And you're just going to be like, yo, what's up? Even if he's not credited for any other position.
Yeah.
But if he's there making music, he might be like, all right, Alexandre, good music. Oh, you guys making the show? How about I give you a little bit of inspiration over here? But I think it's really just because it's made by the same studio as Samurai Champloo. Yeah. Because I think that this is really close to Champloo and not that close to Bebop, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Both Champloo and Michiko Hatchin got the same, we're going to find one guy that we can't get to, and each episode is episodic, but there's a strong arc, and we got to, find people that know people. Like in Champloo, they found the one guy who knew the Flower Samurai, and that's when they find the gang people. And Champloo, they find the Shogunate and the other samurais from the past, dojo of Jin, and the one they find the other criminal groups related to the main criminal group. So just a lot of the same tropes.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell I will still say Champloo is better than Hatchin and Michiko.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
Mainly because I feel you can definitely. For me, it was this is totally a Watanabe show, but it's missing Watanabe because I just felt like some of the relationships were off. Because Michiko and Hatchin's relationship was really weird to me, where there'd be episodes where they would focus on them coming together and be like, "Oh, I love you, Michiko," and I'd be like, "Oh, that's really hard." Then the next episode would be like, "I hate you, Michiko. Get away from me." I know you're 10 or 12, but
I don't really agree with that because I don't think early on there was a lot of touching moments between Michiko and Hatchin that were really we both agree that it was heartwarming. I think for the most of the show, it was really Hatchin is just kind of especially she's a 10-year-old girl, so it's like a double whammy. Yeah. These kids are already kind of annoying in that way. But it's Michiko has been pretty crappy a lot of the ways. And sometimes inconsistent. Sometimes she's I'm going to protect you, Hatchin. And sometimes she's F yourself. I'm going to chop off this foster orphanage for no money and also crap like that. Go off and have an affair with some guy. Gets, bump people for cigarettes. It's how about you need some focus. You need to get with it. And Hatchin could have just been... More of the times, you could have just, if she was an adult, she would have just slapped Michiko and been get things straight. But then she was a kid, she just got frustrated and then just got mad and gave up. Whereas if she were an older character, she would have worked more with Michiko probably. At least I think so.
That makes sense. You know what?
It was a double clashing because of the fact that they were both a huge gap in age, and since they weren't blood related, at least I don't think they were. There wasn't an extra element that wouldn't tie them together. It was really they were very loosely together. It was Yeah. There even because there were parts where Hatchin was well, I'm just going to leave and be on my own. And then she did. But in the end, it's you kind of need one to get the other. Michiko needs her to find Hiroshi. Hatchin really can't live on her own because she's 10. So it's that was really all that kept them going for most of the time.
I guess for what I would say is the main characters are Michiko and Hatchin. And whenever you already know these main characters have to be together in a way, it's kind of... For me personally, I always find aggravating in anime when you do see conflicts like this, constantly in a way where it's I understand it's realistic, that's fine, but it's can we get along a little bit better?
Well, I like that because I thought my favorite episodes the solo episodes where they were this is all Hatchin, this is all Michiko. I was cool. You don't see anime do that a lot.
Yeah, well, not that one Hatchin episode where she's with that one guy that's I got a book and I don't remember. I'm this is really weird.
That was really weird about the episode where she was in the circus and met friends that way. Yeah, and, the freaking pedophile and the child slavery stunt. I was ooh, that's some interesting stuff. And then you got Michiko just being a little thirsty.
Yeah. And beyond that, I also felt the tonal shifts were kind of weird in the show. So I mentioned the episode where Michiko meets Hatchin meets a weird boy, and they had that. So the previous episode was this really action-packed episode that was really great, and so it was really weird coming off that episode to this one. I was this is kind of weird.
I think that was the weakest episode, even if it.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was. It sucked. All right.
Yeah. Because I'm I almost thought that it could have been valuable for Hatchin's character, but I was no, she never really changed.
Yeah.
And I thought that she was kind of being rude, and even if the kid is a weirdo, is when she heard his backstory, I'm like, he could have just like hung out with the guy for a couple of days until he did his weird thing, and it's just like just humor him. But like even at the end when Hana or Hatchin, we never did call her Hana in the review, but if you're watching this and you know her name's Hana, so whatever.
Which means flower.
I just flipped for a second there. But Hana / Hatchin, she was like, after she knew what was going on there, she was just like, whatever, you're still weird, goodbye. And then I was like, well, that wasn't really character growth. That kind of was like not really anything. So it was definitely the weakest episode. We'll call this one's as weak as we thought the zombie episode was weak in Champloo. That was pretty weak.
Zombie episode?
You don't remember? I'm pretty sure we both agreed it was like super weak. Because I also did like the baseball episode.
Baseball episode was a fucking
but you
best.
were like, it was funny.
That episode was weird.
That one wasn't bad. That was just like kind of weird.
I don't recall the zombie.
The zombie
it must have been Max.
It was really bad. I'm almost positive we both agreed it. But yeah, the little boy episode. Just,
Yeah. And I also was a little bit disappointed in like the ending because when they met Hiroshi, I actually liked the ending quite a bit. But the ending, like when they met Hiroshi, was kind of anticlimactic in a lot of ways, which makes sense when you consider how they kind of built up his character in a way where he kept on running away from people.
Yeah.
So you kind of expect him to run away, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping like something bigger would happen when he met.
I felt that, but then I got reprimanded when we finally saw Michiko again after all that time,
and that was nice.
I was like, whew, finally got it.
I think it's pretty funny.
That's the conclusion I needed.
How Hatchin, her husband, just died. Like apparently, did he die or did he?
No, I think he ran away.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought you said
Hatchin was like, oh man, if I had a nickel every time that happened, I had 2 nickels.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, all right, Hatchin.
I'm like, I actually saw her short hair. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And fun fact, we said this in the review, so anybody who doesn't watch the anime, they would have already known. I said it takes place in a fictional country based on Brazil. I didn't know until the very last episode, because they have like some of the towns names I think are actually Brazilian towns.
Well,
because they're Portuguese.
They're altered. They're not exactly. But whenever I watch the show,
I could have sworn Sao Paulo was like a real place.
I don't think they call it actually Sao Paulo. They call it something.
I might have even just autocorrected it in my brain.
Yeah, I think that's what you
But
did.
in the very final episode, when adult Hana is like doing the connect the dots on the map, I was like, what is that map? And then I looked closer and it had a different country name. And then I looked at the wiki for Michiko Hatchin, and it's like Diamandra is the name of the country. And I'm like, that's why you need to make them no country. But in the map, the equator is shown, I think. So it's definitely implied it's alternate Brazil as opposed to being alternate Portugal. So it's like still South America.
Yeah,
but they talk about border jumping a lot, so it's heavily implied. It's like almost the same as Brazil and almost the same as the South American continent.
Yeah. I think if you look at like the description for the show, it actually says like South America, or fictional South America. So definitely,
oh yeah,
it definitely is in there. So if you're a Latino like my brother Eric is,
he's not Portuguese. There's a lot of real Portuguese. I was pretty impressed. The episode titles were like in Portuguese, or like real signs, the newspapers. Yeah, it was actually really impressive. Like even like the transitional parts, like the in between this episode where it's like where it would have faded to commercials, where it's like Michiko Hatchin. It was like a lot of print of Portuguese language, and I was like, wow, they really went the extra mile. Somebody at Manglo must have like had to know somebody. Be like, hey, you can write Portuguese because we don't. We're Japanese. We're in Japan. You need to help me out with this.
It's probably didn't sell well, and that's why they got bankrupt eventually. Just saying.
I actually don't know how well this anime performed in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of highly rated on my anime list?
No, it's still 7.9, which is higher, but it's not like in that. Like I think anything 8 or above is really highly ranked.
It should be a solid 8 at minimum, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a B worthy anime.
I think probably one of the reasons people are a little bit biased going into this because people have already seen Bebop and Champloo, and you kind of have to like you subconsciously compare it to those shows.
I mean, we did it consciously.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's one of the reasons why it's not as highly rated is because they know it's not a Watanabe show, but it's like trying to be. Well, it kind of is for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like the kind of thing is like a maybe a little bit like a not as good copy in a way. But
I think it's just an inspiration. I think it's clearly more inspiration than copy, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. I would say it's higher than 8.0. The soundtrack was super lit. The soundtrack on its own, pretty lit. Not as lit as Champloo, man. That hip hop really gets to me. But yeah, I think some of the songs in the soundtrack were actually from Alexandre Cassin's band. So they were like pre-existing songs they put in the soundtrack as opposed to being entirely composed for the anime, which is pretty neat.
Is it no?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Oh, okay.
I like samba a little bit and jazz.
I like the jazz and the samba.
This guy loves jazz.
That's like one of my favorite genres of music. But
do you like jazz? That's Seinfeld, my favorite anime.
I definitely.
I think And what else have you got to say? That kind of wrapped up all my thoughts.
Yeah, Michiko Hatchin was definitely an enjoyable show to watch. You know, it was fun watching it just because you just don't really see anime like this much. You know, mature episodic shows really kind of don't exist. They're kind of, you're seeing a lot more like linear mature storytelling, which is really good in modern anime today. But no one really, I think people are kind of afraid to do another mature episodic show because of Watanabe's influence, in a sense. Because when you think about it, there really isn't that many other episodic mature anime that Watanabe hasn't been a part of. You know, Michiko Hatchin, he still was a part of it. And Samurai Champloo and Bebop, he did. And it's funny because he actually hasn't done an episodic mature anime since then. Because his next animes he's done have been Kids on the Slope, which is about a jazz band. That's a linear story. And then he did Zakuten no Terror, which is about Japanese terrorists. And that's a linear. So, you know, it's interesting seeing how no one has really kind of tried to pick up the mantle of doing an episodic, mature show like Bebop, Champloo, Michiko Hatchin.
Yeah, and I just love this anime takes place in a place that's not Japan, like a completely imaginary alternate universe. Because we saw Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was like pseudo Europe, but like it was totally made up. Whereas this is almost exactly Brazil. And it was like the actual early 2000s. It was like consistent with it, didn't have like mishmashes of different time periods. I was like, this is just Brazil. This is like rural, third world country. This is cool. I don't think I've seen any other anime in a Latino setting. I haven't seen any anime that takes place in Africa, or like a really strongly resembled Africa-based country. It's like, we need a little bit more of that. We'll get you guys up for the next review for a film, so it might come out a little bit sooner. Oh, it's coming out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, because it's a romance.
Yes, it's a romance film by Makoto Shinkai. Anyway, that's all we got to say about this anime. Pretty good. Tell your friends. Tell your dads. And
tell your moms too. Let's not be sexist here.
I mean, maybe. If your mom thinks she's cool, up for an anime about killing, beating up children.
Hey man, if you're a daughter and you have a mom, it'd be like, hey mom, this could be us.
There are no women that watch this. I've looked at the YouTube statistics. There's no one.